We have made some shifts because of the weather, so you were able to definitely get to see some dance. We don't know if it will start raining and you will not get to see more dance. But for that reason, we didn't spend the last half hour seating you, right? So this is when the program would be starting. We've shifted a little bit. Because we are very focused on the descendants of women in the monument, and I know you all are too, I'm going to ask everyone to stay exactly where you are while I talk to you, and ask the descendants to please go into the tent first and take your seats. You will all understand that the seating has been done so that the descendants are in the front rows, and then I'm also going to look at the airport. I'm going to ask the people who are here, because the women and their family have been on the Girl Scout visibility banners, to also go and take your seats next. Thank you, everyone is not moving. That is very appreciated. Everyone will get to go in very soon, but this is a little safer than just jumping in there. We had some trouble, especially me, adapting to email that came in the last 2 days with changes. So people weren't coming, or they were coming now, or they had 3 people instead of 2, or 1 instead of 6. And so we've done our best, but you probably, if you checked in, already know that our seating was not exactly as organized as it was on Wednesday. Raise your hand if that happened to you this morning when you checked in. Oh, it's only a few. If you did not check in, you could go ahead now to the white tent by the visitor center, and please do go check in so that the very hard-working volunteers can try to assign you a seat that will not take away a seat from somebody else. How many people still standing here know where they're supposed to be sitting? If you think you're supposed to be sitting in a seat with a number 400, starting with a 400, anyone with a 400? How about a 300? 400? 3. If you have a 300, please go ahead and head towards your seat. Leanne is waving her arms. You're moving towards Buckman Tavern. This is super that people are cooperating. Thank you so much. So the people are 300. Leanne is waving her arms over by Buckman Tavern. You're in a very historic seating zone. And then I'm going to ask people who have 200 in the seat number to go ahead next and let everyone kind of flow around them. We're just doing it in reverse order so everyone can move towards their seats calmly and quickly. After the people with the 200s have moved forward, if you have a 100 in your seat number, please go ahead and head over under the tent. And then everyone who has other numbers, go ahead and you're going to be the side over here closest to the visitor center. And then we'll see you under the tent.
Thank you. And everybody on the lawn who are sitting, everybody has to go to the tent. There's a lot of performance on the lawn. Thank you.
take your seats now. If you do not know where you're sitting, go to the check-in tent over by the visitor center. And we would love to get started as soon as possible. Tisha, are you here? Okay, we're going to ask for people in this tent. I want you to help me count down from 10. We did that on Wednesday, but it will help people outside the tent hear us and come in. On the count of 1, we're going to say 10. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone should be in the tent. Let's go. I'm going to ask everyone who's in the tent to please put your hands together and welcome Tisha Dalton, who just drove in from New York. She's going to help us get this morning program started. Some of you heard her in our speaker series. She did a special presentation on suffrage songs. And that was very meaningful for all of us and an inspired song we will sing later today. Welcome, Tisha. Tisha is going to start our morning with a national anthem. I'll ask everyone who's followed directions and been seated to please rise. Tisha.
Let's hope I start it low enough. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Everyone, hello, everyone. Everyone, this is the last call. If you have an assigned seat, you must take that seat now. In 3 minutes, we're opening up the seat to the general public and to the families of the wonderful children's chorus. So you have 3 minutes to find your way to the seat. Otherwise, it's up for grabs, as Billy says. Thank you all.
Thank you, and very excited right now to welcome Lexington resident, Dewandan Hawita Miracle, who's going to welcome all of us to this very special space. And I'm going to ask other people to please be silent. Thank you.
Sego, Sewaguego. Great peace to all of you. My name is Dewandan Hawita, and I am a Mohawk from the Tyendinaga-Akwesasne territories. Today I want to talk about the importance of Indigenous women and their continued presence in our community, especially here in Lexington, Massachusetts. For thousands of years, long before Lexington was founded, this land was home to indigenous peoples, particularly the Massachusetts tribe. The women of these tribes were and continue to be the heart of their communities. They are keepers of tradition, storytellers, and the ones who maintain the social and cultural fabric of their society. In many indigenous cultures, women played crucial roles as leaders, healers, and caretakers of the land. Their knowledge of the environment, their skills in medicine, and their spiritual guidance were indispensable. They taught their children how to live in harmony with nature and with each other, ensuring the survival of their people through generations. However, the history of colonization brought great challenges. Many indigenous women faced displacement, violence, and erasure of cultures. Despite these hardships, they have shown incredible resilience. Today, indigenous women continue to fight for their rights, preserve their cultures, and share their invaluable wisdom with the world. Here in Lexington, we have a unique opportunity and responsibility to honor and support the indigenous woman who has shaped and enriched this land. By learning about their history and contributions, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the diverse, vibrant culture that exists around us. Supporting indigenous-led initiatives, attending cultural events, and advocating for their rights are just a few ways we can make a difference. It is also important to recognize the ongoing presence of indigenous women today. They are our neighbors, friends, leaders, and they are our artists, educators, activists, and so much more. Their continued existence and contributions are vital to the richness of our community, as well as their own indigenous communities. The importance of indigenous women cannot be overstated. They have been the backbone of their communities for centuries and continue to inspire us with their strength, wisdom, and resilience. By acknowledging and supporting their ongoing presence here in Lexington, we honor not only their past, but also ensure a brighter future for all. Nyawa, thank you.
I just want to share that it was so exciting in town meeting this year that Dewan Huita came up and spoke and was a very effective, bold woman. Town meeting voted to make a resolution to recognize Indigenous People Day, and we all thank you for speaking out and using your voice to make change. Thank you. I'm going to ask a technical question of Andrew, who's managing our sound. There's a red microphone and there's this microphone. Is either one fine?
Red one is a backup.
Okay, and is it okay to take this out of the tent a little bit? Okay, great. Let's each say our names first. Go ahead. This is your officer crew here. I'm Jessie Steigerwald. Hello.
My name is Kamla Raj.
Michelle Tran.
Martha Crozier-Wood.
Leslie Madden Masson.
Celeste Freeman.
So today's ceremony is a little different. We don't have a template. The last big monument that came into Lexington was the Prince Estabrook Monument, which was the first monument to recognize a Black man who fought in the battle. And until that time, most of the memories people were carrying about the Battle of Lexington imagined white men as depicted in the Minuteman statue with Captain John Parker. So it was a very welcome addition when Alice Hinkle pursued for many years adding that special monument, which you can visit right to my left in front of Buckman Tavern. The group of women who are here today are going to formally do a legal action, and we wanted to make a ceremony out of it. So this is Dedication Day, it's Women's Visibility Day, and it's also a legal transaction. So the officers are going to sign a deed and present it to Doug and Mark. They're going to accept the deed of gift. It's a donation of the sculpture. in an earlier ceremony, we presented formally the legal deed of gift to the donation of the Granite Plaza. So you're going to see that at the end of the ceremony, but right now we're going to read to you the letter that goes with the gift that will stay with the town to mark this historic occasion.
Dear Jim, Joe, Susie, Doug, Jill, Mark, and the community at large, all of us. It is with great pleasure that we present the town of Lexington, Massachusetts, with the donation of the completed bronze monument. Something is being done. And as Jesse has said, later you will receive both the deed gift and an additional sum to maintain the monument through the ages, we hope. This work was sculpted by the sculptor Meredith Bergman, and she was inspired by the bold women of Lexington and their significant economic, political, intellectual, social, and cultural contributions as it was in their time. These contributions were important to the community at large, but the names and the stories about these women have been erased or were erased until LexSeeHer started digging. Today, they are all visible. Thank you.
The plaza is inscribed with the words, "For bold women of Lexington, past, present, and future, who persist and pursue liberty." Women from the 18th century, including Margaret Tulip, Ruth Bugman, Phoebe Bannister-Berdew, Kate Chester, and Abigail Harrington, were indeed bold women who made significant contributions to this community, the Commonwealth, the fledgling country, and beyond. We are proud to make these women visible, along with trailblazers who followed after.
We are now spinning a new chapter in the story of the birthplace of American history. Women were here all along. We are proud to now tell their stories, especially as the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Lexington approaches. As visitors and residents come to this special place where there is a 12,000-year history of Indigenous women and girls, we hope the monument will engage them with the question of what the pursuit of liberty, equality, and freedom has meant for women and girls. We hope they will consider the challenges that patriarchy and racism have set out for centuries. We also hope they will be inspired to pursue action when they believe something must be done.
We thank the visionary donors and volunteers who provided the funds, time, energy, and persistence to bring us to this important milestone. And we appreciate the 20+ community organizations who supported the project early on. We thank the members of Select Board who voted to approve the project and the members of Historic District Commission, Commission of Disability, Centra Committee, Monument and Memorial Committee, and Tourism Committee for their role in bringing us to this day. Thank you.
We thank Dave Pinsino, Mark Valenti, Chris Villadoro, Kathy Severance, Kelly Axtell, Mary D'Alderette, Corin Stembridge, Helen Liu, Kathy Gorbani, Alyssa Lauzon, Amy Newmark, Matthew Schumann, Sandia Iyer, and all of the town members in the Department of Public Works, John Libsey, and the engineering department who have helped us implement the project.
We are also presenting the town with a check for $10,000 as agreed to provide for the care and maintenance of this singular work. We will bring forward a proposal for signage later this summer. This is a very special day for our community, as was April 19th, 1775, when this town took on a significance the world over. That morning, Abigail Harrington woke up her son, Jonathan, by calling, "The regulars are out and something must be done." When Lexingtonians see that something needs to be done, we continue to step up.
Please now welcome, where are you, Professor Robert Bellinger and Stacy Frazier. Stacy Frazier is member of our advisory board. She curated the Something Must Be Done Bold Women of Lexington installation at Buckman Tavern in 2020, and our paths crossed because we were both eager to see a reproduction of the Something Must Be Done suffrage banner, and I'm so glad they did. And Dr. Robert Bellinger has written a paper for the Historical Society documenting the lives of Black families in this town, a history that many people have not been aware of. In fact, in the last 2 days, we've seen the monument alert people to the fact that there were both free and enslaved Black people living here. So this work has just begun. They are going to share with you the names of the women who are commemorated in the monument.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be able to read the names of these remarkable women who are being brought back to memory in our history. There's Phoebe Bannister Perdue, mother of the Revolution. She and her family lived here since it was Cambridge Farms before it became Lexington, and one of her sons, Eli, was a soldier in the Revolution. Margaret Peggy Tulip, who sued for her freedom in 1768, one of the earliest freedom suits in Massachusetts, which laid the foundations for the ideals of all being born free and equal, as the 1780 Constitution of the state would say. Anne Monroe Harrington, political activist. We all know about the political activism that took place around the Revolution, but she had the spinning tableau, protest where they fought against imported linens and goods, and also burned tea as a statement against the British tea. Kate Chester and her mother. Kate was also an important figure in the town, having married Prince Chester, having children, and then establishing that family here in Lexington during the 18th century. Ruth Stone Buckman, who ran the tavern, Buckman Tavern, and did it tirelessly throughout her time. Eliza Cabot Follen, abolitionist author, who said abolition is women's work and took it seriously and pushed for the freedom of those who were enslaved. Mary Elizabeth Miles Bibb Carey, an African-American woman who was the first African-American woman to graduate from the normal school here in Lexington in 1843, and that was the first normal school here in Massachusetts. She went on to move to Ohio, marry Henry Bibb. They moved to Canada, and she was an avid abolitionist and had the newspaper Voice of the Fugitive. Julia Robbins Barrett, artist, abolitionist, suffragette. Julia worked very diligently writing and also taking a stand for rights, and was represented Lexington at the 1850 American Anti-Slavery Bazaar in Boston. Ellen Adelia Stone, suffragette and patron. She was the first woman elected to Lexington's school committee and worked avidly as an abolitionist and suffragette. Thank you.
All right, and of course, we have more women who've contributed over the years, many of whom knew each other or overlapped in various ways. Caroline Wellington was a suffragist and abolitionist in Lexington. She started petitioning for women's suffrage and for universal suffrage as early as the 1850s. And in 1912, 92-year-old Caroline passed on the Something Must Be Done suffrage banner that Jesse and I actually met over, and passed it on to the next generation of women's suffragists. And of course, that's 1912. So while Caroline didn't make it to see the 1920 vote to make women's suffrage universal, she contributed towards it significantly. Excuse me. Cecilia Payne Gapushkin. She was an astronomer and astrophysicist, a Harvard professor, and the first woman to research and realize that the stars are made of hydrogen and helium. Ada Clapham Govan. Yeah, Billy. I was. We're very happy, and I'm sure Ada or Ada? Ada would be happy to have her grandson here. Ada was an author and a self-taught ornithologist who got to know the birds outside her window, and she eventually contributed in having the town put aside conservation land as a bird sanctuary. Ruth Helen Winchester Morey. Ruth was a local government trailblazer. She was the first female member of the Lexington Select Board, the first president of the Lexington Select Board as a woman, and the first female president of Lexington Historical Society. We are very grateful for Ruth. Janet Reeve Haas, who is an educator and musician in the Lexington school system for more than 30 years. Many people who have gone through the music program have fond memories of Janet, and the strings program still plays Ode to Joy at the end of every concert in honor of her. Marge Milne Batten. Marge was a government leader. She was the first female town moderator in Lexington and was recognized in a lot of ways in her work for the Massachusetts Moderators Association. And finally, Sylvia Grace Farrell Jones, racial justice advocate. Sylvia was Yale trained, and she advanced racial justice in her work at all times. When she passed away in 2019, she was the president of the Young Women's Association of Boston, and really empowered a lot of social justice initiatives in the city of Boston. We're very grateful for her work there and at Pilgrim Church in Lexington. Thank you.
We're Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts, come on up. Come on up. So today is, first, while they're coming up, we'd like to ask all the descendants and family members of those who are commemorated in the monument to please stand up so we can just recognize you as the people who are carrying on the legacy, the best of our very special bold women of Lexington. It is truly an honor for all of us who have learned about to get to meet you in person. So today is also Visibility Day, and one of the most brilliant, there's so many brilliant things about Meredith Bergman's design, but one I'm going to point to, that empty archway in the center of the work. When we put out the call to artists, we imagined 3 individual women and something like that you could climb up on and stand on as a pedestal that was empty for everybody else. And you can see that Meredith expanded that place to be 28 feet across and a very big space with, look, someone's doing it right now. It's she said, you know, the community is going to change and more people are coming who will be very important and you don't know who they are yet. Many of them may be the girls and kids we're seeing today. So she invites people, and we do love this, to have people stand in the middle and hold hands with women across time and take their place. So the Girl Scouts helped us with a campaign to ask for this special place by creating visibility banners. And right now we just want to recognize and ask the people who are in banners to just come up here for a moment and stand for a picture with the Girl Scouts. So I know Benita's here for sure. And I know, and her family can come up too. Have your family come up with you. And then I know Helen Noyes Webster's family's here. I know Melanie Lynn is here. I know there must be some, probably Mary Keenan is here. We have some other living legends, we call them. And here's Grace, yay! Come on up. We're gonna ask you to just stand here so we can all take a minute and give you a little standing ovation. Thank you so much for leading our community and being the bold women of today and making such a difference. So we have Grace is here, and I saw Joyce Miller is here. And I saw somebody else here. Oh, Celeste Freeman, who's actually one of our officers, is here too, and move sides. We're going to invite all of them and our please not all the photographers, but our Jim Shaw and Bob and media photographers. They're going to go over there by the monument and take a picture, again, in case it rains. We're adjusting our program. So you guys go ahead and head over there with the Girl Scouts. And I want you here, everyone else, to sit down. And please join me in welcoming Senator Mike Barrett. Did you guys going to go over to the monument? Go to the monument. Tell me what I'm organized. Yeah. Nice one. Okay, thank you again. Please, again, welcome State Senator Mike Barrett.
Thank you, Jesse. This is quadruple space, so don't worry, I'll be done in a jiffy. It's terrific to join all of you today, representing government officials at various levels who work on behalf of this wonderful town. So to the artist Meredith Bergman, to the truly visionary Jesse Steigerwald, can we have a hand for Jesse? To LexSeeHer officers, to members of the steering committee, members of the advisory committee, to descendants and family members, to the donors who are making their contributions stretch back and circle back across the centuries today, and to the citizens who have volunteered their time, and to my wife, who made sure that I was paying attention to this wonderful things that were going on. 12 months from now, in the commemoration year 2025, and 100 years from now, and 200, people will be looking at Meredith's work. If you focus on the sheer durability of the statement that you all are making, it's really amazing. So thank you. A year from now, 100 years from now, some visitors are going to react with curiosity. They'll want to know more, just as we've learned more this afternoon. And we'll all find ways to fill them in real time, as they say, because the technology is going to evolve soon, probably, and some kind of wireless communication will begin talking to them, telling them about the real lives of the representations we're looking at. But some viewers won't want the information up front. They will approach in silence, the way many of us approach art and have approached this sculpture this week. Before they do any listening, they will just look. And what's telling here is that the sculptor hasn't done our work for us, has she? She hasn't told us what to feel about these representations. Some of the expressions involved seem to hit a high note of celebration. You look at the eyes and they're determined, direct, lit by fire. With the benefit of hindsight, you know success awaits them in the future, and they seem to know it too. But some of the other expressions I've seen, you might say, are more about commemoration than celebration. They're faces that show uncertainty, even anguish. A few days ago, curious, I took photos of the faces carved on the sculpture here and sent them to my 2 daughters and 5 members of my State House staff. None of them had seen what we're seeing. I said, give me one adjective that comes to mind for each face. Don't ask me for any contextual information. Just tell me what you think. So 7 young people, all in their 20s and 30s, looking at these expressions. One of the Lexingtonians portrayed, as you know, is Eliza Lee Cabot Fallon, writer, editor, and abolitionist of the 1830s, 40s, and 50s. Asked to give their one-word reactions to the image of Eliza Lee's face, my 7 respondents came up with pensive, twice, loving, twice, inquisitive, judicial, forlorn. Of the image of Abigail Harrington, the Revolution-era woman who woke up her son on the morning of April 19, 1775, saying, "The regulars are out and something must be done," the 7 wrote, distraught, awestruck. 2 wrote fearful, afraid, pleading, and terrified. Which is interesting because looking back and appropriating the occasion for our modern purposes, we tend to elevate April 19th, and let's face it, indulge in a little bit of Lexington self-congratulation, whereas contemporary accounts back then bring out the alarm and the chaos that people felt. So let's thank Meredith Bergman for capturing the competence and the pivotal influence of women in our town over the centuries, but also for hinting at tumultuous emotions and uncertain outcomes. The ambiguity she's presenting to us and will be presenting to visitors for centuries is true to life. Most of us appreciate that the future is unknowable. We're reminded almost every day that breakthroughs are achievable, but that victories are never final. This sculpture, which all of us have helped erect, testifies to the persistence and determination of these extraordinary women, and our attendance today testifies to ours. Thank you.
We're going to go slightly out of order. Please join me in welcoming the Children's Community Chorus, who are going to sing Be the Change. And I'm looking for Maya Salafidi, who will come up here and get set up for right after they sing. Maya, are you here? Great. And they're going to sing Be the Change. Please welcome them.
It seems so difficult to even try.
Thank you so much, Children's Community Chorus and conductor Angela Carpenter. They are going to go take their picture before the rain comes. And we're doing a little music. Melanie's going to speak, but we're doing a little more outside stuff right now. Please, what you're noticing is our community is very fortunate to have so many creative, artistic people. And when word got out, not just about the effort to make women visible and the monument, but about the incredible stories of the women who our descendants and family members carry forward, other people had ideas for gifts. So you're going to hear now from Maya Salafidi. She's a graduate at the high school. In a minute, she'll be a graduate of the high school. She'll be going to Berklee College of Music in the fall, and she wrote and composed a song inspired by your ancestors and your family members because she learned about their stories. We had a meeting with Cheryl Meadow, and then she wrote this lovely gift for all of us. I'm going to go there so I can...
Thank you so much, Jessie. My name is Maya Salafia, and I'm so honored to be here today, remembering all of these incredibly bold women. This is my song, Her Story. At the edge of the water, diving deep into our past. She's not just someone's daughter, carving paths out of this mess. Block out the noise. Let's raise her voice in the morning light when the sun goes down. In a crowded room, bring the shadows out. In the pouring rain, we see her glory. Now let's hear her story. So let's just take a moment, think about women we forgot. In the depths of the darkness, speaking loud, yeah, she's standing tall above the crowd. She's living loud in the morning light when the sun goes down. In a crowded room, bring the shadows out. In the pouring rain, we see her glory. Now let's hear her story. In the morning light when the sun goes down. In a crowded room, bring the shadows out. In the pouring rain, we see her glory. Now let's hear her story. Thank you so much.
Jayshree, are you coming up here? And now I'm super excited to welcome Jayshree up. Jayshree is one of our living legends. She was recently seen on Massachusetts Avenue on a Girl Scout banner, but she's here to offer us a beautiful gift.
Thank you, everyone. It's so amazing that we're celebrating history with the present, with all of us, all of you, people who are not native to Lexington. I wasn't born here, but this is my town, so this is my home. So I'm deeply honored to be sharing this celebration with all of you. The next piece that myself and my senior dancer are going to be performing is actually a pure dance piece, and I have worked the choreography to include 6 of the women in the monument, and your job is to see if you can guess who the 6 are. Okay, so that means you have to pay attention. So it's a short piece. Other than the 6 ladies, the rest of the dance has no meaning. It's just very beautiful, very rhythmic. I hope you enjoy. And you can start once we get there standing like this. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jayshree. Another living legend is going to speak to you in a traditional form of speech. Please welcome Melanie Lin, who is the president of the Chinese American Association of Lexington, we informally call CAL. Welcome, Melanie.
I'm very honored to be here representing CAL. CAL was the first partner organization who made a financial gift to help pay for the monument. The gift was a sign that we are in this together with a shared goal to make women and girls visible. Back a year ago, when I first visited Meredith's studio and to see the monument come into being, I was captivated by its grandeur. It's like history playing in front of me. I'm also captivated by its intricate details. For example, I know Meredith was very happy to include a rabbit as she began the sculpturing in the year of the rabbit. In addition to paying tribute to historic women, the monument includes figures who represent women of Asian descent. Seeing Asian women represented in the monument here for the first time was profoundly significant. The monument is not just about the historic women in the battle 250 years ago. It represents a shared experience that most of us have. Today, I celebrate those Asian women who have made significant contributions in the modern US history. While we celebrate and uplift women, we must also make sure that we protect them. The hate crimes against many targeted Asian women cannot continue, and we must work together to stop them. Thank you. One effective way that we are supporting is education. Cal will partner with LexSeeHer to improve future education programming. We need to educate people about Asian and AAPI history, highlighting our contributions to America, as well as our own cultures and histories, so that no person sees us as suspicious outsiders or a boring monolith. But rather, fellow Americans. Just this morning, Cal and the Hay Runners Club organized its third year of AAPI 5K with over 400 registered runners and walkers. Yeah. The entire community came together to run for unity, solidarity, and belonging. We celebrate diversity as part of Lexington now and the future. Diversity as our strength, and we are stronger together. We are excited to see LexSeeHer dedicate this monument to Lexington and believe it will be an entry point for future conversations telling a more inclusive view of history, as teaching history is the best way to build a better future. Thank you.
Stay right there a minute. Okay, just stay here. As Melanie said, come over here. I just want to say one of the things that's been so important. We worked together in the 300th anniversary, and the theme was "We Are Lexington." I'm not from here. I'm from New York. I got the bicentennial year wrong. Mr. Lucenti pointed out to me, if you see our Instagram, because I called it 1976, because in New York, that's what we say. But I am now a Lexingtonian, as are you, and no one's going to send us back or get rid of us, and we will stick together, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
We have which dance is next? Which of this is a group dance?
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more offering. Is Jayshree going to announce it?
Yeah.
Jayshree's going to announce, we have one more song and dance. You've got to bear with us. We're very happy. We have a lot. Oh, and there's, what about encore? Wait. What happened to encore? I think we have to do this one after encore?
So we're going to wrap up with a traditional piece. This is in praise of Lord Shiva, the god of our dance. He has the Ganges flowing from his head. He has eyes that sparkle with energy. And the dancers are going to use the monument as their inspiration to perform and perform around. Thank you.
Shankara Nada Sharira Para Veda Vihara Hara Jiveshwara Shankara Nada Sharira Para Veda Vihara Hara Jiveshwara Shankara విచక్షణ ధ్యాన విలక్షణ రాగమే యోగమని ప్రాణము నీవని గానమే నీదని ప్రాణమే గానమని మౌన విచక్షణ ధ్యాన విలక్షణ రాగమే యోగమని నాదోపాసన చేసిన వాడను నీ వాడను నేనైతే నాదోపాసన చేసిన వాడను నీ వాడను నేనైతే ధిక్కరింద్రజిత హిమగిరీంద్రసిత కంధరా నీలకంధరా రుద్రులెరుగ నీ రుద్రవీణ నిర్నిద్రగానమిది అవధరించరా విని ధరించరా శంకరా నాద శరీరా పరా వేద విహారా హరా జీవేశ్వరా శంకరా మెరిసే మెరుపులు మురిసే పెదవుల చిరు చిరు నవ్వులు కాబోలు ఉరిమే ఉరుములు సరి సరి నటనల సిరి సిరి మూవలు కాబోలు మెరిసే మెరుపులు మురిసే పెదవుల చిరు చిరు నవ్వులు కాబోలు ఉరిమే ఉరుములు సరి సరి నటనల సిరి సిరి మూవలు కాబోలు పరవశాన శిరసు గంగా ధరకు జారెన శివగంగా పరవశాన శిరసు గంగా ధరకు జారెన శివగంగా నాగానల హరి నువ్వు మునుగంగా ఆనంద వృష్టినెక్కడవంగా శంకరా నాద శరీరా పరా వేద విహారా హరా జీవేశ్వరా శంకరా శంకరా శంకరా
Please welcome Meredith Bergman.
Thank you, Jesse. Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. I want to say a few words about this monument in this place. For me, the best art reflects the emotional life of the artist while they were working on the artwork. My experience with this project has been a joyful one, full of daring, aspiration, imagination, and the wonderful sense of being part of something larger than myself, part of a community. We set out to make women visible in a landscape in which they did not previously appear, and here they are. I'm very grateful to have learned who some of the bold women of Lexington were. In the many hours that I spent working on this sculpture, I studied their features and I thought about their words. Astronomer and astrophysicist Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin wrote that, quote, "The reward of the young scientist is the emotional thrill of being the first person in the history of the world to see something or to understand something. Nothing can compare with that experience. The reward of the old scientist is the sense of having seen a vague sketch grow into a masterly landscape." Over the lifetime of this project, I've had both experiences. 3 years ago, I got an emotional thrill from a glimpse of an idea for a new way to portray women in history, a new way to create an inspirational, joyful, inclusive, and participatory monument. I thank LexSeeHer for trusting my glimpse, even when I could produce only a flat sketch. I'm deeply gratified to have seen my sketches grow into this monument in this landscape. These women are, as we are, interconnected. Eliza Lee Fallon, the Quaker abolitionist and poet, who is portrayed here as the author of The Three Little Kittens, also wrote of the trauma of enslaved mothers who knew that their children could be taken from them, asking, quote, "Are not women the greatest sufferers from slavery?" She wrote about children like Kate Chester, up in the corner of the monument, a young child taken from her mother in the poem Children in Slavery. Quote, "When children pray with fear all day, a blight must be at hand. The joys decay and birds of prey are hovering o'er the land." Part of the message of this monument is that women's persistence and strength and self-realization can overcome trauma and injustice. Focusing on helping others can bring enormous satisfaction. Building a community can be a great achievement, which is what the LexSeeHer team has done so beautifully here, making this monument possible. Lawyer, activist, and president of YW Boston, Sylvia Farrell Jones, spoke of persistence when she said, quote, "Looking back at everything we've done together, I can see how far we have come, and I rejoice at all the progress made in our struggle. Even as I reflect, I can see how much work still lies ahead of us. Yet I am not discouraged. My greatest hope for this monument that I made for you is that it will encourage, literally, it will give heart to all of you. Thank you, Lexington, for giving me the opportunity to make women visibly part of this historic landscape.
Thank you so much, Meredith. Dave, Kelly, I see some of you there. We have seats for you. Come, if you would like to come sit. Dawn, come sit. There's seats here. Please welcome now, I'm looking for Encore Dance Ensemble if they are nearby and ready to perform. I'm looking around. So Encore Dance Ensemble will dance next. We have gone a little bit out of order of the emotional register we intended, having many lovely children here and the rain and managing that. One of the things that really struck me when this group came forward and offered to share their dance was thinking about Meredith's idea that this could both speak to people about joy, but also speak about the worst chapters in American history, and certainly the separation, and we see this in the top right corner, we see she's depicted a child, and we imagine this child as Kate Chester being separated from her mother. And this dance group has a piece that's longer. You're seeing an excerpt called Grief. So the theme of grief and loss and women and losing their children ties in both here, but also I spoke briefly about Billy's grandmother, Ada Govan. She lost 2 children. She had a son and then had a daughter who died and another daughter who died, and she was, as she described it, paralyzed with grief. And a little chickadee came to her window and she kind of got herself over there to help it, and that changed the trajectory of her life. So when I saw them share this dance, I thought about the wide range of painful experiences in women's lives, and I hope that this speaks to you and resonates with you. Please now join me in welcoming Yvonne Goldsberry, descendant of Margaret Tulip.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can do this. I want to express my very heartfelt thank you to LexSeeHer on behalf of the descendants of Martha Tulip. We're honored to have her represented in this monument amongst 20 other amazing women who lived and worked in Lexington over time. They were activists, they were community organizers, scientists, educators, architects, politicians, and mothers. And the sky is gonna rain happy thoughts on me right now. This work to make women visible is important because it tells the story of Lexington from another vantage point. It helped paint a picture of who belonged. I know I often hope the story of today will be a different one tomorrow. After all, we live in a world of stories. We learn from stories. The ideas and themes that weave together in a collection of stories becomes the narrative that we learn and believe. And if we want to change what we believe, we have to change the narrative. People have been working for lifetimes to change the story of the future, to change the way we think about things, to make things better for future generations. And this monument carries the story about women of the past into the future, compelling us to think differently. So Margaret Tulip was my 5th great-grandmother, and as you'll learn in the book, Something Must Be Done, she lived here in Lexington as an enslaved person in the 1700s. She was born in 1719 and was sold as an infant to her enslavers with a promise that she'd have freedom at the age 22. But when she reached that age, her enslaver, Amos Muzzy, some of you may know that name if you live here in Lexington, he backed out of this promise. And over many years, he worked really hard to keep Margaret enslaved. Her choices at the time were to run away. She could have bargained with Mr. Muzzy to honor his commitment to let her be free, or sue for her freedom. So Margaret chose to take him to court. And with the help of many people in Lexington community, in 1770, on her 2nd attempt at doing this, she won her freedom. So she lived here in this town as a free Black woman during the Battle of Lexington and Concord. She was here through the signing of the Declaration of Independence. She was here through the American Revolutionary War. So I have to say, when people ask me where I'm from, I'm a little annoyed by that. So Margaret's story is among so many stories of women in Lexington that got lost or misinterpreted or not valued, so never told. Her story tells the truth about pre-Revolutionary War life in New England, about the complicated relationship between the enslaved and enslavers. It helps us uncover some of the misplaced, undervalued American history before the official founding of the nation. So Margaret's story is my story. And so today, I bring her to life by talking about her. I restore her power and her strength, and I live through her power and her strength, knowing that in the context of her time, she was just living her life, doing what she had to do for our family. She wanted freedom and happiness, and she wanted a good, prosperous life, just like everyone else. She wanted to belong to a safe community, just like everyone else. So I've been thinking a lot about her and her amazing courage to fight to change the future. And I wonder what she'd think about the fact that I'm standing in front of this tent full of people talking about her. She might be mesmerized by the sight of you, but I think she'd be proud to know that on this dedication day, we add important stories to the telling of the history, that her story lives on in this monument and will inspire future generations of girls and young women to be brave, smart, and creative in their quest to change the future. And the beauty of this monument, thank you, Meredith, is that it invites us to linger. It invites us to pause in the center of the monument, to hold hands with the women, to connect with them, to hear their voices, to feel their power, their courage, and their strength. And some of you may know that in Margaret's case, you can hold the sculpted hand of her 6th great-granddaughter, my niece, who modeled for this piece. It's an intergenerational legacy living through this work of art now and into the future, compelling us to finish the work of crafting a better future. My pages are stuck together. Oops. They got a little wet. It's okay, though. Here we go. So we live in a world of stories, but it's what we do with them that matters. And today, we dedicate this monument and the stories that it portrays as an important act of reparations, honoring wise, fearless, innovative women and their many contributions to Lexington. Today, we make room for all of the voices to write the next chapter of America's unfinished story by making women visible. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, of course.
Thank you. And now if you will take your program and turn it over, for those of you who have a program, we're going to be serenaded by they're getting ready, the Children's Community Chorus. I see also we have our State Senator Cindy Freeman here and our State Rep Michelle Socolo, yay. And so Angela will be our conductor too. And when she starts, we can join in. This is to the tune of Auld Lang Syne.
On April 1975, Abigail, she woke her son. The regulars are out, dear, grab your fife, for something must be done. No woman will not be forgot, right here in Lexington. We celebrate their blazing trails, for something must be done. Was liberty secured that morn, or was there more to lend? Old woman said we too should post, as slavery must end. No woman will not be forgot, right here in Lexington. We celebrate their blazing trails, for something must be done. Women have been hard at work, shining brightly all along. Our monument now makes it clear they were brave and they were strong. No woman will not be forgot, right here in Lexington. We celebrate their blazing trails, for something must be done.
Leslie?
All right, go ahead, go. So we'll sign the one we'll pack over.
Yep,
Yes.
can I say something while you're going? Do you have to say something?
Yeah, I have to say something.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sign the deed and then run back over to you. So town officials, we're asking Doug and Mark to go over there. This is Jim Shaw moved us, not me, okay? But we do love Jim Shaw. A round of applause for Jim and Lori, please.
Anybody else?
No, take this, take that. And then we're asking our state senator, both Cindy Freeman and Mike Barrett and Michelle Socolo, to come and be witnesses to this, please. Meredith, would you like to be a witness as well? All right.
Some people can go and eat this.
No, go over there. Take the pen, will you? Okay, go over there. So I'm going to narrate for a minute. What they're doing is they're signing, most of us signed this morning, and now the town is signing, and they are receiving officially the artistic work. So it will be the town's. It is done. It has been inspected by Dave Pinsino. Is Dave here still? Okay, fine. So they're going to sign it. Jim will take a picture, and then we will have a closing comment.
While they're doing that, We'll announce that after our ceremony is over, we do have dessert in the back, so please help yourself.
While we're waiting on them to sign, does anybody have a guess as to any of the 6 women that were portrayed in the one dance that we saw? Anyone? Yes. The astronomer, Cecilia. Yes, Cecilia, the astronomer. Anna Harrington. Anna Harrington. Any other guesses? Janet Haas. Yes, Janet Haas. Any other guesses? Moray?
Thank you, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much. Any other guesses? Yes? Ruth Buckman, yes. Good.
right, we have one last song. Is Tisha Dalton here? So Tisha's going to give us a rousing closeout song. Again, we're out of order in our mood, but I know it all's coming together, and that's fine, right? Like, I loved it, Billy. I did. I was like back there. Okay, so Tisha's going to sing us a song, and we are reminded by the Caroline Wellington figure in the monument that this monument is largely about, in the birthplace of American liberty, we want people who visit to ask
themselves the question, what does a pursuit of liberty mean for women? For white women, for black women, for women of color, for older women, for women who have accessibility challenges based on how we have tended to not be inclusive. And we think about it took really 70 years. Caroline Wellington she never married, she did not have children. We did not want to define women based on whether they did or didn't have children because that's their choice. And Tisha's going to sing us a song from that long, long battle for suffrage.
So a lot of suffrage songs were sung to popular songs of the day, which is why Jessie wrote her song to Auld Lang Syne. That was one of the ones that was used. So this one was sung to the same tune as the Battle Hymn of the Republic, written by Julia Ward Howe, who was also a Massachusetts person. So if anybody knows the chorus and you want to sing along, feel free. Arise, arise, brave woman, there is work for you to do. Show the world that love is wisdom and those promises are true. Break the bonds that hold you captive, for the world has need of you, and we'll go marching on. Do you need a sound to rouse you? Hear the little children cry. Do you need a sight to stir you? See the old who hopeless die. Shall they call to you in misery while you stand heedless by? No, we'll go marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, as we go marching on. Man too long has fought unaided with the evil in the world, but together we shall conquer, all our strength against it hurled, and united march in victory, our banners bright unfurled, as we go marching home. We will give the world fair daughters, and those daughters shall be free. They shall stand beside their brothers on the ground of liberty. And the cause of right shall prosper on the land and on the sea, as we go marching home. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, as we go marching home. Then arise, arise, brave woman, there is work for you to do. Show the world that love is wisdom and those promises are true. Break the bonds that hold you captive, for the world has need of you, and we'll go marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, as we go marching on.
We'll have our closing remarks, and then when we're done, because our dancers still have 2 dances to offer you, so after we say our goodbye here, we're going to welcome you to come and be able to be a little closer to the monument and enjoy the dances there. And I'm told there's plenty of food and refreshments still, so I'm encouraged by Kamala, who would like you to please eat food. I want to just deeply thank the volunteers who stepped forward when the officers were really tired, and we knew we wanted a very special ceremony. The entire First Look team, people ushered and greeted and set up chairs and unset them up and reset them up and unset them up, especially Girl Scouts, and checked in and did spreadsheets. A lot of the behind-the-scenes work that we're just exhausted, and I'm sure now they're exhausted, but Leanne Durant rose above and beyond every possible measure of what anybody could hope for in a human being and a volunteer, just like beyond all possible work that could be done. So thank you deeply, Leanne. You made it.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. Now, we're gathered here today to celebrate bold and powerful and impactful women in our community, women who knew something needed to be done. Well, something has been done, and before we close our ceremony here, we would like to recognize one more bold, powerful, impactful woman. Any guesses on who that might be? Jessie! Standing applause for Jessie. Our LexSeeHer team extends our deepest gratitude to Jessie, our president, whose visionary leadership brought forth our town's first women's monument. Thank you, Jessie.
I'm going to ask at this moment, is Barbara Manfredi still here? Barbara, can you just come up? Not everyone's heard this story. Barbara, please join me. So I always give credit as best as I can, although I must say on the book, I want to point out that the book started as a trifold. So those of you who bought the book, you know it's not a trifold. It's not an academic work, but it's based heavily on the work of people in the research team. Leslie Masson, who spent 4 years learning about Margaret Tulip and reading her court case. A lot of documents. Alexandra Molman, who worked on Phoebe Bannister-Berdew, especially. Ann Engelhardt, who worked on Eliza Fallon. Mary Keenan, who wrote a whole book about Julia Robbins Barrett. So what you have is but a summary. But I really have been so excited. It made my day to have this person here. Come closer, please. This is Barbara Manfredi. Barbara and I had met already. I was an Evil School Committee member, and she was a principal.
And we liked each other.
We did. We were on like the same wavelength. So we worked together we really cared about civic education. And we brought back Mocktown Meeting, which had been an elementary school, discontinued because it wasn't on the MCAS. And you know, our teachers are pressed to meet that goal, which we thought was kind of silly. So we got it back by working cordially with the school department, and we got it into 8th grade Mocktown Meeting. It continues to this day, so children here, like me who are not growing up here, learn what town meeting is. They bring that seed home to their parents. But in that, Barbara said, what should we have them debate about in the mock warrant? And Barbara said,
have it be about...
Say it here.
Have it be about finding a place for women on the green. There's nothing against all of these wonderful patriots and heroes, but there were plenty of women who also helped make Lexington what it is today. I really, honestly am in awe of all of you and how wonderful you are represented. Your ancestors, really, you should be proud of them. I never envisioned when we were working on writing an article for town meeting that this wonderful sculpture, kudos to all of you. Meredith, you did a beautiful job. Everyone who did any of the background research, I came up with a few names, and the kids loved it. They could get excited about something that mattered to them. And women's role matters to kids. They need to look to the future. This is about the past and how it has informed us, but it also makes sure that children today, and boys, not just girls, know how far they can go.
So you can see why we got along. So we listened to like year after year of these 8th grade kids debating there should or shouldn't be a monument. And we heard a lot of things like there shouldn't, and why not have a monument to dogs on the battle green, or cats, or lizards, or other pets, and lots of crazy ideas, or great ideas. Right. But we picked this one, and 10 years later, I had forwarded it to a group of friends, a group of women, and then here we go. So the moral of the story we told our high school students who were visiting was if you have a great idea or someone else does, and you can connect other people, you can change the world.
She took the ball and rolled.
Yeah, but look at you. So everyone, let's go join over. We're going to hear encore and see them dance, and then we're going to get to see maybe another Morris dance, and we hope you will have some snacks. Thank you for coming.
You did a beautiful job. Beautiful.